Let's take a walk on the beach and talk about database architecture for vibe-coded apps. I've been making all my clients make videos like this, and I feel like I have to walk the walk now. Here I am. Database architecture for vibe-coded apps. Sounds confusing. We're going to break that down. We're going to start with data, a database architecture, an interface, and then how that all relates in a vibe-coded app that you can actually put into production. For this example, we're going to be using a fitness app that tracks your calories and your steps throughout the day. First of all, what is data? Data is information that you collect that's going to make your app work. You're going to need to know your user's name. You're going to need to know how many steps they're taking. You're going to need to know what activity they were doing when they were taking these steps, and maybe how many calories they ate in the day at a very basic level. What is a database? A database you can think of as simple as an Excel sheet, because at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's rows and columns of your data. It's what's the piece of data and what's the data in it, right? So calories, and then how many calories, and then day, which day did that happen on, right? What is database architecture? Database architecture is where we make a plan and we say, we're going to store the data in this way so that it's always consistent through our app. Let's use a really simple example of just a name field. There are several different ways we could choose to collect something as simple as a name. We could use one field, one box, and just let users type their name in however they want. Maybe they're typing their full name, first name, last name, middle initial. The more standard way is to collect it in two fields, first name and last name. You could also ask for a middle initial if that's important to your data. And when you're setting up your database architecture, there's really no wrong answer here, but it just has to be completely consistent throughout your app. So you're always using that name field when you're calling back to anything that touches the user's name. This is where vibe-coded apps can kind of get a little wonky if you don't have your database architecture set up really, really thoughtfully in the beginning. Because everything might be working really well, and then you go to add another feature, and now it added a different field into your database for name that doesn't match the first one. So everything can look like it's working good, and then you're like, oh, I want to change my name, and you edit it in one spot, and you're like, cool, the edit worked, great, and you go out and you go into the old spot, and you realize it didn't change because it's an entirely different field that like got duplicated, and now you have two name fields that are fighting each other. It sounds simple, but it's really important, and it is simple. It's really not that hard to set up, but it just takes a little bit of time. So you might have to take a notebook, a pen and paper, do it in your favorite like AI tool, Claude, ChatGPT. There's a million ways to do it, and they all work. But just be really thoughtful about what data do I need to collect to make this app actually function. And for security purposes, I'm just going to throw this out here. You always want to collect the minimum amount of data that's going to make your app still function, right? So don't be asking for someone's social security number if you have no reason to use their social security number in the app. That's an extreme version, but you get the idea. Okay, next we're on to interface. What is an interface? The interface is the part of the app that you're used to seeing and thinking about. This is the pretty part. This is what talks to your data and puts your data in a usable format for the user. So now, instead of having to interface with like an Excel sheet, they're getting to work with the pretty app that you designed, which is really where the bulk of your value is as an app designer, right? You're taking this data, putting it together in a unique, usable, user-friendly way so that they can take actionable business steps from the data that's there, right? That's the joke where the tech bros are turning unstructured data into actionable business insights. That's what that means. Not that far. Your vibe-coded app cannot store your data. It needs somewhere to call to. Your vibe-coded app is more focused on your colors, your fonts, where your pictures are located. That file structure cannot also hold your database. So you need to connect something like, I use Supabase personally. but there's a million different like third-party data table, database apps out there that'll work really well for your vibe coded apps, especially if you're just talking about getting a prototype out so that it can start working. Supabase is a great option. What kind of apps should we be using for our vibe coding? I like to vibe code in React. I feel like this way allows me to own the code itself, and React code has a few distinct benefits. It is system agnostic, meaning it doesn't matter if you download your React code, you can upload it to the App Store, the Play Store, to a web-based application. It's gonna like automatically resize and fit all the different screen types. It's a really clean source of code so that after your prototype is approved, you can actually put your app into production, meaning that your users can actually start using it and it can grow with you. Same with your database, right? You're not locked into Supabase with your database. You want to be able to make sure that whatever database tool you use, you can download your user data as a table and upload it to whatever. If your app grows, you might need to use something a little more secure than Supabase, right? But you're able to take that data off Supabase and upload it to whatever database tool you need to use as you grow with your app. So, in a nutshell, that is how you publish an app and how you make it actually work with multiple users' data. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, I'm going to post the transcript on my website so you can just copy and paste it right into your favorite little AI tool and have it walk you through this entire process of organizing your data for your database. Let's go. Happy coding.